I'm mindful of time. We're running slightly behind, but it would be great to have one or two questions if anybody has any.
I wanted to ask you that in this crowded world of devices, it would be yet another device for consumers to be persuaded to buy and wear. And what about things like password inflation? Yet another password to remember. And will it really be taken seriously, or will it just be seen as a piece of jewelry or a conversation gimmick?
Got a very nasty answer. It depends. It really depends on the use case where you are in. So it will be taken serious if you have something which is taken serious in sports. The professional sports soccer players show it. Passwords, yes, it depends on how you conceive the system. For example, the jacket here is just you don't carry so much things anymore. For example, today I don't have a phone charger with me because I can charge my phone in the jacket. And if you go into the sports world, you can also simplify things if you make different functions from one device, which is, for example, just to be activated with one button and paired in advance, so that you don't need to remember so many passwords. And passwords, I would think, is another topic. Of course, it's difficult, but you get already some recognition. You see the Bluetooth world, nowadays you don't need to remember passwords for a pairing process anymore. This is automated with exchanged data from electronic systems. So there will be some things in the future. And if you think about wearing something with biometric feedback, then this may be used as a password. But the other question is, would you really like this? Then this is a controversy, and that's why I say my answer on this is, I think there is a future. I think there is a lot of opportunities out there, but it really depends on the use case and the kind of application you're targeting. Thank you.
Do you want us to answer the same question? Or?
Well, we don't know. If you want to add to it, if not, we can move on to the next question.
Yeah, no, I'm not too troubled by the idea of passwords, just because, the idea is that we are definitely going to reduce the amount of devices we're carrying with us. So you can have just one device and it is your garment, and then if you're accessing it from your phone, sometimes you don't even need a password to access your phone anymore. You can just use your fingerprint. So I think that definitely there is elimination of password. I'm totally for it, because I think just passwords are the most horrible thing ever invented. At the same time, sometimes people think in terms of privacy. And so it's is everybody gonna listen to my data, traveling from the garment to the phone, or is everybody just gonna be access and right now we're just providing free data for data mining just when we upload a photo on Instagram or where we tweet, because everybody's going to know where we are, what we're talking about, who else is in the room with us if you look at the same hashtag. So definitely, with wearables, the idea is that you can turn it on, you can switch it off, and of course you can protect your privacy. If you don't want to share certain information, you can just cap what you're sharing. But I think people sometimes do not realize that they're already sharing a massive amount of data, and it's just so easy to do that you don't think it's gonna breach your privacy, but actually it is doing it already. So there's a very interesting balance to be found there.
Okay, any further questions? The lady at the back.
Well, wearable tech is kind of becoming quite mainstream already with Apple Watch with Apple Watch and Fitbit and all these kind of things. What do you think is the next big thing? Implantable tech, will that ever show up?
There is already insertables. I've just recently been on a fair where people insert things in electronic systems in their body, and this was for women for pelvis training after birth of a child. And yes, I think things will move further. There is a lot of energy on the development of polymers which are compatible with the human body. Silicon that is used in the chips by nature is compatible in principle with the body. So there will be also discussion on implants. But same thing, I think it depends really on the use case and where you go. And I've seen on discotheques already, some people, they just inject a little RFID under their skin to have access to the in-discotheques in the world. So yes, it's going further, but we are focusing mainly, let's say from my perspective, we are focusing on the wearables outside of the body. The only thing Where I had to deal with in my career now with inside the body was if you would like to measure inner body temperature of a sportsman or of a firefighter, it's very difficult to do from outside of the body because if you want a significant information, you mainly find it inside the body, or there is some other technology where you could also measure the inner body temperature.
I was going to say, I'm told there were something like 300 companies focused on the wrist, either monitoring stuff or health or watches. The problem is you've got a very small area, a very small device, and quite a big finger. And technology isn't going to change the finger. So it's my view, and most of the West Coast focus at the moment is on these Fitbits and things on the wrist. I think as people begin to think about the use cases, a lot of that interest is going to come onto the body because there's much more space there. So that there are things, embedding controls, flexible washable displays. There's going to be much more room in clothing. And I think there is going to be a big market for it. This session is about whether it's a fad or not. We've got to find useful applications. I think they are emerging, and I do believe it's going to be a very big market, but not necessarily all on the wrist.
Okay. Well, my Apple Watch tells me it's 3:10, so we are running behind. But are you guys around later on to answer any questions? Okay, so I'm sure there are more questions, but thank you very much. You could join me in thanking the presenter.